If there's one thing LEGO fans do very well, and especially LEGO Star Wars fans, it is finding stuff to complain about. There's a new LEGO Death Star set coming out this October, and based on the small selection of unofficial images that have found their way onto the internet, the initial fan reaction has been resoundingly negative. I'm sure you've already heard all that you need to know about everything you should dislike about the set, even though it's not even in stores yet. So instead, let's take a look at 5 things that I actually like about the new LEGO Death Star. 1. The fact that we're actually getting a large-scale LEGO Death Star set. It might not be exactly what everyone imagined or hoped for, but it's also been almost a decade since the last one came out, and this version has more than double the piece count that the 2016 version had. Plus, honestly, I feel like it would be kind of boring if LEGO just did the exact same thing every time they made a new version of something. I mean, look at the difference between the 2008 and the 2016 Death Star sets. There's only 200 more pieces in the 2016 version, and the layout is practically identical. Do we really want LEGO to just make the same thing over and over again? 2. The minifigure selection. Now, it goes without saying that in a Death Star set, you're gonna get characters like Han, Luke, Leia, Chewie, C-3PO, R2-D2, Darth Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin, and probably some other random Imperials. But what I didn't expect was that we would get characters like the Imperial Dignitary, General Tag, Admiral Modi, new versions of Colonel Wolfie Lauren, Director Orsic Krennic, the freaking Hot Tub Stormtrooper, and for the very first time ever, Galen Erso. So if that's not a banger minifig lineup, I don't know what is. 3. The Shuttle Bay. Now to me, this really gives a great sense of the scale that the Death Star is supposed to have. In the last 2 versions of the Death Star, we got sort of a midi-scale Darth Vader's TIE Advanced X1 to go with it, but in this version, they actually went with a much larger docking bay to accommodate that vertical fin on the Lambda-class shuttle. Plus, we got a great representation of the stars and planets out there behind, or those might be bits of Alderaan, I'm actually not sure, but we can even see the control room that R2 and 3PO were in overlooking the shuttle bay too, and that's a nice touch. 4. The representation of the Death Star's super laser. In the last 2 versions of the Death Star, the dish that concentrates all those individual laser beams is almost comically large in proportion to the rest of the set. Plus, in each of the last 2 sets, that entire dish section sits completely outside of the actual structure, whereas with the new version coming out, it appears that it's actually recessed into the Death Star. Then underneath of the dish, we can even see the firing field amplifier, the induction hyperphase generators. Yes, I looked at a cross-section book to find out what those were called, but that's super cool because we've never gotten something like that before, and it's really one of those little details that again elevates that kind of set to the next level. And finally, number 5, it's not a ball. I know, hot take, everybody else thinks that it should be a complete sphere, and you know what, I really would agree with that if we were doing something like the Death Star 2, which LEGO did back in 2005 and looked honestly amazing. But the way that LEGO designed the 2008 and 2016 Death Stars, there's simply no way you can display it without hiding approximately half of the entire model. This design, on the other hand, does let you display the entire thing, and you actually get to see everything that you paid for. So there you have it, a refreshingly non-negative perspective on LEGO's upcoming Ultimate Collector Series Death Star set. Now, will I actually buy it? Probably not. It is, after all, $1,000.